We're back talking with our friends from the law offices of Allen and Rector, here with Brad York. Brad, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Michael. We're happy to be here.
So today we're going to be diving into a little bit of a sensitive topic here. We're talking about joint versus individual trusts for married couples, and I'm sure that this could get a little bit hairy.
It could. So, I mean, the history of trust, separate trusts for married couples were common for a long time, and so, and there's maybe some still reasons to do them today, but our trust planning has gone through a lot of transition over the years.
That's right, and honestly, it's made it better for couples in the long run. And so let's dive into the weeds here. I want to talk about the difference between joint and individual. I'm sure there's positives for both, and I'm sure there's negatives for both as well. And so what should we be keeping in mind when trying to consider which one to do?
Sure, absolutely. So with separate trust, used to be, we would do those for a tax reason primarily, and that is to take advantage of both couples' federal tax exemption for estates. But the law has changed over the last decade quite a bit, and now we can do the same thing most of the time through a joint trust. Couples find a joint trust typically easier to manage. They're not having to kind of juggle both those trusts. But we live in a day and age where we have a lot of second marriage situations and children from first and second marriages. So sometimes those individual trusts can still be a way to go.
And when it comes to individual, that means that someone's finances, you're basically two separate entities in the individual trust.
Exactly right. So used to be under the federal tax code, we needed to do that. We needed those two separate estates to take advantage of those two separate tax exemptions. Anymore, most of the time, we don't have to do that anymore to get both the tax exemptions. But when you're doing those two separate estates, you have to keep them separate. And so when you're acquiring new things or spending money out of them, some couples can find that a little daunting to keep those equal and keep managing both of them. So sometimes they find a joint trust is easier to manage that way.
And I'm sure that if folks are maybe still trying to decide, I don't really know which one is the right for our relationship, that's a conversation that they can have with you as an attorney.
Absolutely, and it's one of the first things we're going to talk about, their particular situation and their family and their assets. And so if they make an appointment with Allen and Rector, we're happy to go over it with them and talk to them about it.
Wonderful. Folks, we're going to put some contact information on your screen so you can have that very important conversation so that you can set both spouses up for success. Brad, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.